Hi, I'm Andrew Bartman with National Mortgage Professional Magazine. You're watching another NMP on-demand training session. And did you know there's 7.3 million eager buyers that are looking to buy homes that most originators are ignoring? So I asked my friend Brian Sachs, who's a 3-decade billion-dollar originator who's out there, has scripts and a system to do business with these buyers. He's going to make you look like the expert in your market, and the best part is he's guaranteeing this free training session. Without further ado, Brian.
Well, hello everyone, this is Brian Sachs, and I want to thank you, Andrew, so much for your kind introduction, and I'm really excited to share with you something that really has the potential to absolutely change your business. And I don't say that lightly, because there is a niche right now that literally no other loan officers are going after, and very few even know about. But there are 7.3 million buyers now able to purchase a home, and they want to purchase a home. So I'm going to share with you in this training really how to explode your production with this group. And I'm really excited that you're here. So before we start, I'd like you just to focus, pay attention, because you will pick up some ideas that you can literally implement right after this training that really will have a powerful effect, not only on your business, but really on your life. And, you know, the problem we have as loan officers, I like to coin it the head of lettuce syndrome. We're perceived by the public and by realtors and by builders, you know, really as a head of lettuce. So you have two heads of lettuce on your screen. One of them costs 39 cents and one of them costs 59 cents. They look exactly the same. So which one do you go with? You know, the days of you showing up, I've been doing this 31 years. You're going to hear a little bit more about me shortly if you don't know me. But the days of you showing up and saying, hey, I give great service, or hey, you know, we have really great pricing. Well, you know, those days are over for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's hard to even get into a real estate office. If you go into a real estate office, there's nobody there. So you showing up at a coffee or a meeting and saying, you know, we have good rates and we do a good job. Well, you know what? That's just basically showing up for the conversation. That's not good enough. And here's something that truly, truly frustrates me. You know, this just came out in September of 16, but you all see this. You all get these calls every day. This is a real estate publication telling realtors to let lenders pay for your ads. And you know what? That's extortion. That's horrible. And, you know, I know many of you listening to this training may not have a budget for this sort of thing. I know I didn't when I first started, and I know I didn't when I came back into the industry. I mean, this is what the mindset is now, and I'm going to show you how I completely changed the tables, and I'm going to show you how to completely switch this on its head so that the realtors need you. So you're in the right place if you know you need purchase business, but you're just not sure how to start generating it. You realize realtors are a great source of purchase business, but I mean, you're tired of begging or being asked to pay fees or blown off with excuses. You know, I hear so many loan officers tell me they'd rather have a root canal without anesthesia than work with a realtor. Well, that's a mistake because, you know, realtors still control 80% of the transactions out there. You know, you'd love to be the in-demand go-to expert in your area and have buyers and realtors chasing you, but you think that's a dream. Look, we all know we need to start generating purchase business. You're just not sure how. And you know you need to have a plan you can bank on right now that works and will instantly produce new business, not just rate shoppers and tire kickers like you're getting off of Zillow and maybe some other internet leads. So, how to get realtors and buyers chasing you without spending one thin dime on advertising. If you haven't already downloaded the handout, go to boomerangexpert.com/NMP handout. And again, I'm thrilled that NMP has chosen me. I write for NMP, and I'm thrilled that they've chosen me to share this information with you because it's so powerful, because it will change your business. But I know we're all easily distracted. So you know what? Do yourself a favor and turn off Facebook, turn off LinkedIn, turn off your cell, close your door, and just grab a pen and paper and really listen, because I promise you, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is shortly, I promise you this is worth your time. If you can't take 50 minutes to do this, well, you probably need this more than anyone. So really, stop and listen and pay attention. So I just want to share with you how real this is. Through my own system that I'm about to share with you, I sent a mailing, and this is not about mailings, by the way, but I sent a mailing to a client who had a bankruptcy. We got her pre-approved, and I referred her to an agent I didn't know, but I discovered was a high producer, and I'll show you how to do that, and I'll actually give you a script towards the end as well. But here's the point. The point is, I generated this lead, I gave it to a realtor, and you know what? Since then, she has given me 3 clients, and all of them were easy, conventional jumbo deals. So I know what you may be thinking in your head, I don't want to work with these buyers, it takes a lot of work. Well, it really doesn't take a lot of work, as I'm about to show you. Actually, these deals could be even easier than some of the things you're working with now. But the point is, I got 3 easy conventional deals because I referred a pre-approved client. Yes, she happened to have had a bankruptcy, but she was a pre-approved buyer and bought a home. So really pay attention. If you're tired of cold calling, visiting offices and getting sent away, I hate this as much as you do. Having lunch and coffee with someone who really doesn't want to have lunch and coffee with you anyway, begging clients or realtors to work with you, spending a ton of money. But what if, and sometimes the questions you ask yourself are really, really important. This is how I discovered it. What if in the mortgage business, I could actually have a predictable income? What I could count on every single month, and one where I didn't have to, and you don't have to, go chasing or kissing butt. I mean, really, what would that be? It's the difference, my friends, between these two people. It's the difference between hope and actually having a business plan and a strategy that works. And I hate to break this to you, but hope's not a strategy. We all hope rates will stay low. We all hope things will get better. We all hope this realtor will give us business. But you know as well as I do, hope's not a strategy. So my personal promise to you, and this is almost unheard of, I've never seen anybody offer this, but you know what? The time we spend together today, you can't ever get back. So stay on this training, and if you don't learn one big idea you can immediately use, send me an email and I will personally send a check for $25 in your name to the charity of your choice. And my email is loanofficertips@gmail.com. loanofficertips@gmail.com. So I can't be fairer than that. Why do I know this works? Why am I able to make a promise like this? Because, folks, I'm going to share with you what I do in my own business every single day. I originate just like you. So what we're going to share is a 3-step formula you can use to instantly grow your production. And I mean immediately after you get off of this training. The little known way to finally have agents chasing you so you never have to beg or pay for business. How to position yourself. We all hate rate shoppers, right? So how do you position yourself to stop rate shoppers dead in their tracks so you're never asked that question, what is your rate? Because you know what? You will never, ever have the best rate. But see, folks that have a challenge, they don't ask the rate. They just want to make sure that you're for real. And that's a beautiful feeling. Why what you're currently being taught and offered isn't working. So as I told you, I originate every day just like you, and I invest in trainings all the time. And most of them are offered by people who either don't originate, never originated, or originated many years ago, or it's people who are teaching you how to chase business. I've completely turned that upside down, and I'm going to share with you how to get people chasing you. You've never heard that before, right? we're all being taught all the creative ways to chase people. I'll prove it to you in a minute. But I'm just going to let you off the hook right here and tell you it's not your fault. But I am going to show you what does work and how you can use it. How to profit from one of the largest groups to really enter the marketplace, the 7.3 million buyers that no other originators know about or know how to work with. The key to breaking into closed offices with MSAs in place. You know, I hear so many originators that I coach and train and work with, and they go, oh, I can't go in that office, it's closed, or this builder has their own mortgage company, or this company has their own in-house, mortgage company or MSA. So what? So what? I'm going to share with you how to get the loan officer, the builder, the realtor, even credit unions doing business with you. Okay, so don't even worry about that. And I'm going to share with you at the very end one source of new business you've probably never ever thought of, and it's almost too easy. So if you have a marketing budget, folks, of 0, and you need to make money right away, these sources are right in front of you. But you got to know what to say, you got to know what to do, and you got to have a solution to the challenges. So number one, I'm going to teach you, before we even dig into the rest, I'm going to teach you a very important lesson, and that is you need to be careful who you listen to. So you want to, now I can't just say that, I want to give you some criteria, and by all means, hold me to these same criteria. So, has the person you're listening to accomplished what you want to accomplish? Are they earning what you want to earn? Do they do it or do they teach it? And do they guarantee it? Folks, I've guaranteed this training for you, so you can't be fairer than that. The ultimate shortcut I found was to find a mentor who had blazed the trail before me and simply copy and paste. So who am I? My name is Brian Sachs, and my story, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here, but growing up, we were barely middle class. I went to work at Baskin-Robbins at 14, barely graduated high school. I think they just wanted to get rid of me. I do not have a 4-year degree. I got into real estate when I was 20 years old. The manager at that time decided in 1986 to open up a mortgage company, took me with her. And then I discovered direct response marketing and information marketing, and I'm going to share with you how that truly changed my life and will change yours. My family, that's me with my son, my wife, my daughter. And the reason I share this with you, and it's actually very painful, my wife used to call herself a mortgage widow. And years ago, before I discovered and formalized and tested and really perfected a system, I hoped, just like you did, that things would be good. And that this realtor would give me a deal, and that this person would be loyal, and that I did have a good rate. So I literally worked 7 days a week. My wife used to call me a mortgage 7-Eleven. When my daughter was about 2 or 3, think about it. I would leave 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning to get work done before the phones went crazy, and I'd spend all day taking applications, and Saturday and Sundays I was out working too because they're busy, right? And I was a commodity. I didn't have the best price. I was that head of lettuce we talked about, right? So, my daughter, one day, I was 2 years old, and I came home unexpectedly. I don't even remember why I came home, but she said, "Mommy, who's that man?" See, to her, I really didn't even exist. I came home. I left early in the morning. She was sleeping. I came home. She was sleeping. So, that very painful. My son had to learn how to ride a bike from one of my neighbors. And, I don't want this for you. There is a way to close more loans, make more money, and still have a life, but it's not being a commodity. You have to do something really special, and I'll share that with you in the formula. So how did I learn these things? Well, this is my 31st year in the mortgage business, 15 years frustrated, handing out rate sheets and buying donuts. I realized it couldn't be about price. I discovered direct response marketing, and I went on to build 4 businesses, and 3 of which I sold for 7 figures. Some of you may remember me from Loan Officer Success and the articles and the seminars that we used to put on and the services we used to offer. But let me tell you about my life part 2, because I don't tell you these things to brag or be arrogant. The information business I sold went bankrupt. One of those partnerships wound up in court, And I left the business, and I've been back now 3.5 years. And when I came back, most of my agents had retired or had died, believe it or not. So, I had to reinvent, and I had to do it quickly and efficiently, and I had to do it with no money, and I had to do it with no technical knowledge. If you told me I'm not phobic by any stretch of the technology, but if you told me, build me a website, Brian, well, or I'll shoot you, you'd have to shoot me because I have no idea how to do it. And so that's my story. What do you do if you have no money and you have no time to waste? And many of you may be in that situation. And by the way, if you're not in that situation and your pipeline is more than 50% refis, you're about to be in that situation, whether you realize it or not. So the head of lettuce syndrome, I've explained this to you, but let me go ahead and tell you and just show you how this works. So let's say, we're our own worst enemy, right? Let's say we all hate rate shoppers and we all hate needing to be available 24/7, but we really are a head of lettuce. So how do you fix it? Let's pretend we're at a party and I say to you, what do you do for a living? Well, you're probably going to say, I'm a loan officer, I'm a mortgage banker, I'm a loan originator, I help people finance their home, I help people get into their dream home, things of that nature. And you know what? The next thing they say, what's the next thing they say? Come on, the next thing out of their mouth after you say that is, oh, what's your rate? What are rates? So I'm going to give you a script right now to help you with this. And the script is, if you ask me at a party what I do for a living, here's what I'm going to say. I help buyers who have a bankruptcy or other credit challenge get into a new home with low down payments and attractive rates. Now, notice something. Let's dissect this for a second, okay? I did not say low rates, best rates. I didn't say no money down. I said low down payments and attractive rates. Rates are based on risk, obviously, right? And this is very counterintuitive to you. I'm sure it was really counterintuitive to me when I first experimented with it. But you know what? There's a famous gentleman I'm going to share with you soon in this presentation. And his name is Jim Rohn. And you know what he said? He said, if you want to be successful in any business, look at what everyone else is saying and doing and do the complete opposite. Well, it's counterintuitive because you think that by saying this, people aren't going to do good loans with you. Well, that's really, really not true. I understand why you would think it, but I can tell you, since I've been doing this, it really isn't true. But see, when you say something like this to someone, it starts a conversation, and the conversation doesn't start with, oh, what's your rate? They will ask you about refinancing. They will ask you if they're looking to buy or sell. It starts a conversation, but it starts it off with you having an area of expertise. See, think about every other industry out there. Doctors, there's a general internist who's working 24/7, and there's a cardiac specialist who makes more. Who has better hours? Who has people lined up to meet with them? Accountants are the same thing. You have general accountants and you have an IRS audit specialist. Who charges more? Who has a better lifestyle? Look how happy this guy is, and look at this poor guy. Every field understands this. There are general practitioner attorneys, and then there are commercial real estate tax law experts. So I'm going to share with you this in the formula, but I want to show you how every other industry has adopted it. I'm not sure why we haven't in the real estate and mortgage financing industry. So I'm going to teach you another lesson before we go further. I bet you're probably saying, well, sure, that works for you, Brian, but how am I going to be able to do this? Well, again, I've told you about who you listen to and not to waste time and money. But see, here's the thing. No matter what you say about yourself, nobody believes you. And you may not believe me. So here's a big marketing lesson for you. People do believe what others like them say about you. So your clients will believe what other clients say about you, but they're not going to believe how wonderful you are because you said so. So why should you even continue to pay attention? How do you know this even works? Well, here's Joe Gross in New Jersey, and he says we slashed marketing expenses by 90%, and he now has a great life. And here's Mark Savage in Long Island. Brian's completely changed my life by about $40,000 a month. And here's Jay Davis, and he says the information comes from a guy who not only talks the talk, but also walks the walk. That's the difference between Brian and all the others. And here's Scott Brown in Colorado. I wanted to give you an update. I've gone from doing $4,000 to $5,000 a month in gross revenues to over $20,000 a month, and he's now on track to do $50,000. Now, I am not making any claims here for income or anything else, but it is a very important marketing lesson for you. Be careful who you listen to, and nobody believes what you say, but they do believe what others like them say about you. So, grab that pen, because here we go, and we're going to dig in. These 3 magical sentences that will instantly explode your production. You ready? Here we go. And we're going to dissect each and every one of these 3 pieces. So, pick a niche, become the expert, let everyone know about it. I think they're going to tattoo that on me one day, because I've taught so many people this, and it's absolutely, completely changed their lives. And see, this is the difference, folks, between success and failure. In every part of your life, in your personal life, in your business life, the person that is doing the chasing is at a disadvantage. So your goal in life and in business must be to set yourself up so that people are chasing you. That's the difference. So you remember earlier I said it's not your fault? Let me prove it to you. Here's what you're being taught to do, and here's what you're being asked to do. Paying MSA fees or co-marketing fees. Well, that's pulling. Look at this poor guy. He's sweating. That's how we all feel. Versus this person who's like a money magnet. So, you know, paying MSA fees, you know it doesn't work. I don't even need to go into it, right? I mean, you know it doesn't work. And by the way, the national statistic is the loan officer in-house gets 27% of the business of that office. And we all know we're one fatal deal away from extinction, right? How about food for brokers open or providing donuts for an office? Of course that's pulling. That's not attracting. But how about speaking at a board of realtors or an office meeting as an expert? That is attracting. That is you being seen as an expert on a topic. How about giving your realtor a pre-approved buyer? Of course that's attracting. There's nothing stronger than that. How about being heard on radio, on TV, or having your article read? Of course that's attracting. What about buying cold internet leads? I must get 3 phone calls a day from different companies and Zillow. Or cold Facebook leads and working hard to convert them. So you spend all day on the phone trying to catch up with people, running credit reports. They don't qualify. They don't call you back. They don't respond. That's a horrible way to live life. How about sending direct mail just willy-nilly without a plan to cold prospects? It's just a waste of time and a waste of money. So, look, the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and hoping it's going to come out differently or hoping it's going to change. That's silly. You know by now, by the way, that I'm no genius, but I really want you to write this down. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. You know, I barely graduated high school. I have no college. I have a face for radio because, you know, I mean, you saw my picture. That's not me, by the way. But, you know, this is really mostly a mental thing for most people. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right either way. So, here's some more of our fellow loan officers. Brian Saviano in Chicago saying, not listening to Brian, I wasted thousands of dollars. Tim Barnett in East Texas, I'm doing about half the volume but tripling my take-home pay. So let's jump into this. Let's start with picking the niche. That's the first part of this 3-step formula. Well, there are lots of niches, folks. There are reverse mortgages, pretty crowded space. Construction loans, pretty crowded space. First-time buyers, pretty crowded space. There are all sorts of niches, and there's small balance commercial, pretty competitive niche. But really, think about it. Who is going after boomerang buyers? Just about no one. Only my students who are making a ton of money right now. And again, I'm not making any income claims, but imagine going after a group of people that no one else is reaching out to, people who are anxious to buy and who can. There are 7.3 million of them. 1 out of every 3 borrowers you meet has a credit challenge, and bankruptcies and foreclosures and short sales over the last 7 years were at all-time highs. I mean, this is from last year, 2015, the year of the boomerang buyer. But look at this, okay? That was 15. This is 16. This is, we haven't even reached the peak yet. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Folks, you've got another 6, 7 years of these buyers to make a ton of money, to make a name for yourself, to have a predictable income, and to use it to build relationships. Where are these buyers? Everywhere. They're north, south, east, west. They're in big cities, little towns. They're literally everywhere. And this is from Realty Track, which is a very, very reliable source. I mean, look at this. Oklahoma, Knoxville, Tennessee, Columbus, South Carolina, Titusville, Florida. I don't even know where that is. I mean, literally everywhere. You know it. Look around your own city or town. It doesn't matter if you live in a big city or a little town. These folks are everywhere. They're in the media. Boomerang buyers are coming back and will require special expertise. Boomerang buyers, more evidence of an improving housing market. So the reality is, the niche that I have chosen are these boomerang buyers, and I would strongly suggest that you do the same. There's 7.3 million of them. They're in your neighborhood, okay? And so really, really good idea. The NAR, look at this. The NAR report also looks down the road to 2023. The chart shows a steep climb in boomerang buyers that peaks in 14-15. Well, you know, well, they may peak in 14-15, but there's not a whole lot of drop-off up until 2022. So, great way to make a living. Now, how do you become the expert? Well, the truth is you have to do some work here. I'm not going to minimize it, okay? You have to know your guidelines and you have to know your company's overlays. But I'm going to share with you in a minute how to do that. There are some excellent lenders out there. Carrington, Angel Oak, Caliber. I used to work for Caliber. I've done loans with Angel Oak. You need to meet with their reps and you need to understand their programs and their guidelines. You also need to understand credit. You need to know how to get scores corrected. You know, a lot of times I hear loan officers saying, oh, you want to pay off that collection. Well, not really, because if you pay off that collection, it may drop your score. You know, there's so many things that go into credit, and yes, you do need to know more than the other person. You need to know about your guidelines better than an underwriter. By the way, on an FHA and a VA, on a Chapter 13, you don't even have to be discharged. You have to be 1 year paying and get a letter from the trustee. And you have to, of course, count the debt. On a Chapter 7, you have to be discharged 2 years. However, if it was due to an extenuating circumstance, you may be able to get it done after 1 year. So you really need to know these things. You need to know the special programs designed to help these people. There are so many of them coming into the marketplace right now, one day after a Chapter 7, one day after a short sale, one day after a foreclosure. And you have to know the ways that instantly improve your buyer's credit, because I'm sure, like me, you're running into it every single day. Not sure what you're doing about it, but you really do need to know it. See, I got to share with you, what we do is really sort of backwards in our industry. Think about it. And that's why it's so frustrating. And that's why you may be having that little voice in your head going, oh, no, I don't want to know about these loans. Well, think about this. You decide to market. You go out and you market. And I'm not even saying how you market. You get leads and then you try to figure out if you can help them or if there are programs to help them. And then you get frustrated and you stop marketing. You know, this is a instant training, so I can't ask you for your feedback. But come on, I know you know this is what we do. So let's fix it. If your income's been going up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down like a roller coaster, this is the way, folks, to even it out. So, you know, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. You don't have to know everything, and this is the best way I could possibly illustrate it, okay? See, if these two guys are loan officers and the bear's trying to catch them, I don't have to run faster than the bear. I have to run faster than you. So I just need to know more than the realtor, which is usually fairly easy, and I need to know more than most other loan officers, and it's really easy to learn. But think about it. We really do things ass backwards in our business, and I'm sorry if that word offends you, but it's true. That's why we have such erratic incomes. So, you know, to give it to you in a simple sentence, learn the products you have and market to the people who fit them. Let's say you work for a bank and your rule is 2 years and there is no flexibility for FHA. Well, that's fine. Market to people 2 years discharged from a bankruptcy. They're easy to find, folks. And I share it with you in my boomerang system. And those people are still motivated because they think they have to wait 7 to 10 years for some reason. So, work backwards. Only market to people you know you can help. Life becomes much better when you do that. And there are lots and lots of benefits to you being seen as an expert instead of a head of lettuce. See, buyers will meet experts during your business hours, and they will actually take off work to meet you because you're an expert. They're not rate sensitive. They just want a home. They're not going to, beat you up over rate. They do want to make sure you're for real, and they do want to make sure they can afford it, but they realize they had a little bruise or a bump. They know they had an issue, and they're going to do what you say, and they're going to respect you. They're not shopping 5 other lenders because most other lenders are going to hang up the phone on you. But here's what's really, really important. They will refer you to everyone. They will be your biggest fan. Think about it. When you do a loan for somebody that has 780 credit score and they put 10% down and you gave them a good rate and you did a good job, so what? Everybody should do a good job, right? But when you get somebody who's had a bankruptcy who other lenders have just totally mistreated, and you actually get them into a home, they're going to tell everyone about you. And guess what? Not all of their relatives had a credit challenge. Not all of their friends had a credit challenge. Not all of their coworkers and neighbors had a credit challenge. And so I hope you can see how this really has the ability to explode your production. And best of all, no one else is marketing to them. So we've covered, let's just recap for a second. We've covered pick a niche. We've covered become the expert. So now how do you let everyone know about it? And maybe even more importantly, how do you do it if you have a budget of 0? Well, you could teach courses at the Board of Realtors. You could teach courses to builders. You could write for their publications. You could have your own book. You could be a guest on radio. You could be a guest on TV. And I promise you, these are not as hard as you think. I can do it. I barely graduated high school, and I'm certainly not the best looking person out there. And I hope my voice hasn't irritated you, but, I don't have a perfect voice either. So, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king or queen. And if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So don't dismiss these things. But, the best business card you could ever have is a book. Imagine that. You're a published author and you give someone a book. There's no better credibility. And here's a book I wrote called Yes, You Can Get a Mortgage. I'll show you how you can get a copy soon. Do you know the best place that you could meet realtors? How about the Board of Realtors? And you know what? You might be afraid of speaking, and that's okay. But again, you only have to know more than the realtors or builders. And I promise you, you probably already do. Here is the presentation. How to increase your closings working with boomerang buyers. In my system, I actually give you the slides so you can customize them. I actually give you a video of me teaching it, and I actually give you a transcript so you can practice a couple times. And just so you see I'm not full of baloney, here's the Greater Baltimore Board of Realtors. She's got 27 realtors signed up already, and I teach this once a quarter. See, folks, hope is not a strategy. You got to do something. I hate to tell you that there's no magic button, okay? There are shortcuts, And there are things that are effective and things that aren't, but there's no, twinkle your nose and fairy dust appears. You got to do something. And again, it's not your fault. Look around at what everyone's doing and do the complete opposite, which is what I'm sharing with you. See, think about this. This was the big aha I hope you get, and the big aha I got. That if we only market to people who need our help and fit the criteria of the programs we already have, what if we picked a group that needs our help and no one else is marketing to them? What if we could get them sold on using us before they even called us? And what if we had, because we all stink at follow-up, what if we had an automatic follow-up system so we didn't need to spend time doing it? I mean, look, talk about doing the opposite, right? Everyone is telling you to go online, use Google, use Facebook, use LinkedIn, but look at this. This is mail I saved. This is from Facebook, and these two are for Google. And guess what they are? They're direct mail. The two largest companies on the planet, online companies, are actually sending direct mail to generate business. And speaking of direct mail, the thing is, with most direct mail, there's a couple mistakes you make. Number one, you need to get a list. Well, you got to make sure you're targeting it to the right people. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to share it with you because it's cool. Number two, no one ever gets married on the first date. So you got to send to the same people more than once. I suggest 3 times. Number 3, the mistake is you ask them to call you. Well, guess what? Did you see the movie The Big Short? Do you know all the horrible things that have been said about our industry from 2008 till now? I mean, 8-9 years of just bashing us? Well, they don't want to call you. They think you're a dirtbag. They think I'm a dirtbag. They think our whole industry is disgusting. They think of us lower than they do used car salespeople. So what you want to do is have them get information that sells them on using you. And here's a glimpse of what I do. I don't really have the time here because I have a lot more I want to cover with you. But, you put them in an automatic drip campaign. I mean, here's how it works. You send to the targeted person. They either call you for a pre-qualification or they don't. If they don't, you have a systematic way of following up. Otherwise, it becomes like Groundhog Day, That's the difference between Groundhog Day and this person who's getting a pre-approved a buyer ready to work with them, already sold on using it before you even pick up the phone. I mean, this is a formula I cover in a program called Renters into Loans. So, look, here's the thing. A realtor wants one thing, and they want one thing only, and it's not donuts, and it's not you paying for MSAs, and it's not you being a co-partner on Zillow. Really what they want, and I know you say, realtors aren't loyal, blah, blah, blah. Well, the truth is they're very loyal if you control the buyer. See, your whole life, think about how disgusting this is for a second. Realtors control a loan officer's livelihood. Well, what if you controlled your own livelihood and then had the realtors begging you? I mean, wouldn't that be great? So they will be loyal to whoever provides them leads. I don't care if you're feeding them. I don't care if you're paying them. I don't care what you're doing. At the end of the day, if you can give them a pre-approved buyer, which you can, using a very systematic approach, and the systematic approach I use every day, they will love you. Now, I'm going to share here, I go to sites like HomeLight, frankly, NMLS, and I don't like the top agent, who will dispose you like a chic razor. And I don't like the low-end agent who really is sort of a waste of time and, just hanging around the business to get out of the house. I go for the mid-level agent who will be loyal and who will appreciate it. So here you go. The problem is when you give an agent a transaction, you assume they're going to do the same. Never, ever assume. So here's a script, okay? You want to start writing. Hello, my name is, and I have a problem and I wonder if I can get 5 minutes of your time. So now we're meeting. Hello, Shirley. My issue is that I have pre-approved buyers, but I don't have a close working relationship with a realtor in this area. Would you be interested? Of course, they're going to say yes. Well, Shirley, here are some rules. Number 1 rule is you never ever question my price and I will never question yours. Is that okay? She will say yes. If we have an issue with each other, we will not discuss it with the buyer, but only amongst ourselves. Okay? Sure. So, here's Shirley. Here's the buyer. Her name is Laura. She's pre-approved for FHA up to $250. You're going to need the seller to help with a little bit of closing costs. And Shirley, I want your next deal. So here are the rules, Shirley. If we decide it worked well, we can continue. If not, we'll remain friends. So here is Laura's information. She is pre-approved. I'll let her know that you will be calling, and I will be looking forward to your next deal. See that how important that is? I want your next deal. At the end, we can decide if it works or not. Thank you for your time, and I really look forward to working with you. It didn't take more than 5 minutes, right? Use that. Never, ever assume. You know what happens when you assume. So I promised you 3 little-known sources of business, okay? Now, I'm sure you're not going into Ryan, Ryland, Hovnanian, Beezer, Senlar, any of the big companies, right? Because they have their own in-house lender. Okay, well, how about if you did? How about if you walked in there and you said to them, hey, Ryan Homes, hi, John at Ryan Homes. I know your in-house mortgage company does a phenomenal job, but what are they doing with buyers that have these issues? And they will love you. And see, what will happen is they will start liking you and trusting you. And I promise you, they will even start giving you some deals. I did some deals with Beezer Homes this way. Really important. Little known source of new business number 2. How about small banks and credit unions in your area? And by the way, I'm sharing these things with you. You know how much they cost you to implement? Absolutely zero. Absolutely zero. So go into some of the small banks and credit unions that are very conservative and say, hey, you don't want to lose this relationship. You don't want to lose this buyer. And I can get these deals done. I can make you as a credit union. I am going to be a resource for you. Now, the next one, I promise you've never thought of, okay? How about this? And this is, you could do this immediately. Meet with other loan officers. I have breakfast with my competition 4 times a year. And why? Because many of them have no idea how to work with boomerang buyers. One of them is a bank that does construction perms, do a great job. One of them, is a portfolio lender. One of them does a phenomenal job with doctor loans that I don't do, but they run across my type of buyer too. So, meet with them. You don't want the relationship, the referral relationship with the realtor. You just want to make them look good. And they will love you for it, I promise you. And, this may be good for 1 or 2 deals a month from each of these sources. Think about it. So, I hope you got at least one good idea. I hope you got numerous good ideas. And more importantly, I hope you will act on some of them. But you know what? In an hour, I can't possibly share everything with you. So why did you attend this webinar today? You know you need purchase business, but you don't even want to think about begging and chasing anymore. You know that being seen as the expert and never having to worry about rate shoppers really is the best way to grow your business. You're seeing more and more of these buyers, but you don't know how to turn them into a consistent flow of new business. So the big question is, well, hey, Brian, how do I get this up and running quickly so I can start closing more, making more, and enjoying life? And there's really 2 choices. You could choose the complicated, costly, and confusing way. That's the way I did it. I asked myself these questions. I found solutions. I tested them. Some worked. Some didn't work. I refined it, perfected it, and made it into a system. A system that really is just proven already. We know it works, and all you have to do is copy and paste it. So again, the definition of insanity is doing what you're doing now and hoping it's going to get better. So I am thrilled to introduce to you the Boomerang Expert implementation system, because this is all about implementing. I'm going to give you the tools here, not only to know what to do, not only to know how to do it, but the actual tools to go implement it, and my personal one-on-one help. I mean, if you really need to jumpstart your production, you want to be seen as the obvious go-to expert in your market, and finally have buyers and agents chasing you, well, pay attention, okay? This system is for ethical loan officers looking to get an edge over their competition. All of us are tired of chasing business, working weekends, not only earning what we know we're worth, you know? Originators looking to finally have a predictable and consistent income, not like those big swings I showed you. And you know rates are going to go up. You have no idea what you're going to do to generate new deals. Don't join if you're thinking of leaving the business, although honestly, having a system like this very well could change your mind. Maybe you just don't view your job as a profession. You're just looking for a quick buck. There is work here, folks. I'm not going to deny that. But this is the ultimate shortcut. So what are we going to cover? This is a 9-week training implementation program. In Module 1, I'm going to give you sort of the lay of the land, the overview of the entire system. And I actually structured this so the modules only open up once a week. And I do that intentionally because I want you to implement. You have access to me personally, but you know what? Think about all the courses you have where somebody taught you a good idea and you didn't do anything with it. Or you did something with it, it worked, and then you stopped, which, I do that myself. It amazes me how frustrating that is. In Module 2, we're going to go deep into how to become the obvious expert, and especially in this niche. And I'm going to tell you how to understand the needs of credit challenge buyers because they're a little different. So you want to teach this course for home builders and get it approved. This costs you nothing, folks, and it positions you instantly as a expert. I can't tell you, how many deals I've gotten and how many relationships I started simply by teaching the course. Here is the course outline. That's what your board, and by the way, your board will get it approved through your state. So you don't even have to do that. So here you go. I'm giving you the outline. I'm giving you the actual slides. I'm giving you a transcribed version of it. And I'm giving you a video so that you can see how I did it and copy it. You do not have to be perfect. You only have to run faster than the other person the bear is chasing. Okay? Module 3. We're going to go really deep into how to identify these buyers, and I'm going to share with you a very unique system on how to get them sold on using you before they even meet you. I mean, think about this. What if you could pick up the phone and actually have buyers sold on using you? I'm going to share with you how to stop being an advertising victim and why we do things backwards and how it hurts your income and wastes your time and how to fix that. And again, I'm going to give you the tools that you can simply copy, paste, slap your name on, and start making money from. Number 4, Module 4, Week 4, I have 2 different credit restoration experts that I have grilled so that you can know the little known secrets that your competition doesn't know about credit scoring. And you can also use these 2 folks as a resource to get your business moving. To when you get a call from one of these 1 out of 3 buyers, you now have a place for it. And you can speak intelligently about it. And you know what works and you know what doesn't. I mean, that alone, honestly, is priceless. Module 5, there's a lot of psychology that goes into our industry. So I'm going to give you the little known psychological triggers to gain instant credibility, and not only with your prospects, but also with your partners. You see, for people to do business with you, they have to know, like, and trust you. I'm going to give you actually my handouts that you can simply slap your name on that are instant trust and credibility pieces. And then I'm going to share with you right here, this actually is probably one of the most important things I've ever read, honestly. There is a 27-word sentence that absolutely allows you to convince and persuade anyone to do whatever it is you want them to do. Imagine that. And, maybe it's even a little dangerous sharing it, but it's that powerful. Week 6, we're going to talk about how to position your business so the realtors are actually chasing you without spending a dime. And once again, I'm going to give you my forms. This form right here has so much psychology to it. I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is something I created that is one of my keys to success. Here's one I did with a builder. Here's a course on asking the right questions. I have another course here. Is the secrets to stop paying rent. I'm giving you samples of my newsletter. I'm giving you letters because letters are important. Emails are important, but letters, the mail works, folks. And this is a letter to the buyer after you meet with them. Here's a letter. It's my entire system, by the way. Here's a letter to the buyer after they close. There are letters to listing agents, letters to regular agents. I mean, it's so jam-packed, week 6. Week 7, I'm going to show you all the ways to shamelessly self-promote yourself so that you are immediately seen as the obvious expert and rate shoppers are a thing of the past. I'm going to share with you some TV ideas. That's me on TV. If I can do it, folks, anybody can do it. I promise you. Radio, but it's much, much more than that. You can be a guest. You can do a podcast. Think of all the ways, YouTube videos. I mean, there are numerous free ways of promoting yourself really shamelessly, so that people see you as a go-to expert. In Module 8, I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom. I'm going to show you the direct mail secrets that produce a predictable and consistent flow of new buyers. And you don't have to spend a lot. You don't even have to do this, by the way. Everything else I'm sharing with you works. But you're going to start immediately getting new loans and getting new closings. And this is a way to sort of turbocharge it. There is a science to this, and I'm not going to really share it here. But trust me, there are secrets, and they do produce a predictable and consistent flow. And you may be thinking, well, I don't have a budget for that. Well, if you work on the other 7 modules, and when you start bringing in all these new loans and you start having all these new relationships, save this one for last, okay? But there is an easy way for under $500 to get a campaign in the mail. I'm giving you the actual campaign. I'm breaking it down. I know I'm going to be sharing with you things you've never, ever heard of. And I'm actually giving you all the tools here to customize. In Module 9, I'm going to give you the secrets to getting all of this done, because what's the point if you're killing yourself, right? You're going to be making more money. You're going to be doing more loans, but you don't have to work any harder. And I've taught many of the gurus in our industry this when they were in my Platinum coaching group. So I'm going to share with you how to get it all done while only working 40 hours a week. But I didn't stop there, because I've got 2 surprise bonuses when you enroll. And you can just jump down to the bottom right now if you like and enroll and really take the system for a test drive. But I have 2, and I'm going to say this, it's very powerful, because I'm going to send you 2 surprise bonuses that absolutely changed my life. I have an entire loose leaf of people whose lives it's changed, and there's surprise bonuses that are going to come to you in the mail. But when you enroll right now, folks, you will immediately have access to some of the bonuses online and Module 1, so you can immediately get started. But I didn't stop there, because I'm actually going to give you my time. I originate every day just like you, but I know if you're investing in this, you have a need. I know that you are serious, and so I will take my time. While you are a member of the implementation program, you will have access to me. I'm also going to give you my golden postcard and the book. And the book is in the process of being updated once again, because the guidelines just changed and, you know, all the TRID changes. So here's the formula that I see. I learn best when I have a video that explains it, the tools to actually implement it, and then my mentor there for not 1 red cent extra that I can turn to if I'm stuck. So right in the member area, you're going to be able to have access to me personally. Now, if you were to break all this down, I easily, you could tell you this is an investment of $5,973 or more. But think about this. What will your business and life be like when you no longer have to beg for business? When you never have to hear that horrible, what's your rate? Or I'm checking rates with 3 lenders. When you can finally have a predictable and consistent income. When you're respected by your peers, your referral sources, yourself. I mean, you know, and you can actually take off time and not worry about what you're missing. I mean, you know, what would that be worth if you bought a franchise, you know? 10,000, 5,000, 3,000. Well, your investment is going to be less than what you would earn on just 1 loan. Just 1 loan. But what about all the new relationships? And what about all finally getting rid of those rate shoppers and finally having a stable way, a predictable way to get more deals. So because you are a subscriber of NMP, I've arranged for a very short time to give you a $500 savings. You can go to boomerangexpert.com right now and see for yourself. We offer it all the time for $14.97. It is limited to 20 people, so it's not always available. And the reason it's limited to 20 people is, as I said, I originate every day, and so I need to make sure that I have the time to really help you. I want to make sure I'm accessible, not just saying it, but I actually want to be there for you. So you've got three options. I've knocked $500 off the price for a very short period of time while this is up. Or you could spread your payments over 2 payments. You would invest $597 now, and 30 days from now, your second payment and final payment of $597. Or you could pay with PayPal credit, and there are no payments and no interest if paid in full in 6 months. I mean, that's a heck of a deal. You could start earning new business before you even finish paying. So there are only 20 spots available. If you go there and it says sold out, I'm really sorry, but there are no exceptions. So because this is an instant replay, I have no way of knowing and no idea. But I want to make it even more brain dead simple for you. I want to take all the risk away. I want you to try this for 30 days. You're going to try it for 30 days. And if you have any issues at all, there is a no questions, no hoops, no hassles. Let me know and I will give you back every penny you invested. But I want you to actually really try this. And so if you take this, I'm going to give you a double your money. It's unheard of. A double your money back guarantee. Take the system for a full 12-month test drive. Just scroll down and enroll right now. You'll have instant access, but take it for a 12-month test drive. And if at the end of 12 months you show me what you've done and it hasn't worked, I'll either help you make it work until it does, or I will give you double your money back. And folks, it can't be fairer than that. A double your money back guarantee. And, you know, I told you earlier, for a full year, double your money back guarantee. That's how sure I am. Why am I so sure? Because again, I originate just like you. I created this system over a number of years, tested it, perfected it. I spent the time. I had the grief. I spent the money, and I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. Here's Steve Ramos. He was averaging $200 to $300 a month. Now he's doing $700. He doubled his business. Here is Denise Solser, who is awesome, by the way. She is in New Jersey, and she's on track to triple her production. Folks, here's what's going to happen when you enroll. Scroll down, join right now, take advantage of that $500 discount. But you're going to see right up here in the corner, you have a video, and then you're going to have right below it all the tools you need to implement it. And you can go right up here. You'll see the unannounced bonuses. Some will be right here immediately when you enroll right now. And some of them will be coming to you in the mail. And they are so powerful. They truly are life-changing. I'm not even going to tell you what they are because I don't believe anybody else is going to share them with you. So I want you to have a little bit of a surprise, but it's going to be the kind of surprise that actually changes your life. So again, you have access to me. Some questions that I generally get, that I'd like to share with you, and we're going to wrap up. If you're ready to enroll right now and you're ready to change your business and you're ready to take action, scroll right down and enroll. So what else do I need to buy to see results with your program? Literally, absolutely nothing. It's all handed to you. What do you do when the guidelines change? Well, if they change enough, I actually change who I market to. And see, that's the beauty of this, folks. We're marketing to people we know we can help. And by the way, there is an hour-long, I think it's either a 40-minute or hour-long session in here with one of my really, really top go-to experts for these kind of programs. Will I be able to speak with you if I get stuck? Absolutely. You just go right in the members area, schedule one-on-one. And that's why I have to limit this to only 20 people. Do I get lifetime access? Yes. You get lifetime access, and things are always changing. Why are you sharing this information if it's so good, and how many other members are in my town? Well, let me tell you that answer. That's very limited thinking. Folks, I'm capable of doing 15 to 20 loans a month. I'm in Baltimore. There are other members of the Boomerang Expert Implementation Program in Baltimore. In Baltimore County, if there are 300 transactions, I want 15, okay? So don't think that way. There are more than enough buyers out there. How soon can I see results? How much do I need to spend? You know, I can't make any commitments to you, but I can tell you everything is here ready for you to implement immediately, and I'm here as a resource to help you if you need help. So it can't be fairer than that. Again, folks, you will have online access immediately when you join. What other questions do we typically get? So one of the other question is, what is your refund policy? Well, I've told you, you can take this program for an entire year test drive, and I will give you a full double your money back guarantee. How do you know if I'm right for the program? Well, I guess you don't know, but if you need business, this works for everybody. So if your business is more than 50% refi, you probably need this program. Do you offer a payment plan? Yes, we do. And you can have 3 options, as I showed you here. You can, where was it? Hang on a second. Oh, maybe it was back here. So yes, there are 3 options. Really, the one that's kind of cool is pay with PayPal. No payments, no interest for a full 6 months, or you can split your investment. And I'm not an accountant, but I do believe this is a tax deductible because you're investing in your education, right? I'm knocking $500 off the price. And so that's just, again, for NMP subscribers or until we reach 20 spots. This is coming down, I think, within the next number of days. 2 payments of $597, 30 days apart, 1 payment of $997, or do it with PayPal credit and take it for a full 60-day test drive. You know, for those of you that are enrolling, I can't tell you how excited I am to work with you because this truly is life-changing. But whether you've decided to invest in this training or not, these boomerang buyers are out there, folks. These people with credit challenges are everywhere. And more importantly, I hope you've learned 1 or 2 things that you can immediately start implementing to change your production, to change your business, to change your lifestyle. So I thank you. I know we're right at an hour, and I appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed it, and lots of good luck. Again, for those of you that I will be working with, I really can't wait to start working with you. Have a wonderful day.